Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to my respective lecturer, Dr. Rosmila, and our fellow friends. Today, our group would like to present about the company that we had chosen, which is Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd. My name is Muhammad Imran bin Muhammad Rizwan. My metric number is 202309.
Hi, my name is Nur Afina and my metric number is 201867.
Hi, my name is Nurul Huda binti Muhammad Arshad. My matrix number is 204056.
Hi, my name is Nur Balkis binti Muhammad Rizwan and my matric number is 203542.
Hi, my name is Nisharuni Pazafira binti Masharuni and my matrix number is 203535.
Hi, my name is Nur Siti Hajar binti Kamal Zaman. My matric number is 204280.
First of all, we would like to explain about background of Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd. Basically, Bericap has 24 factories spread over 20 countries in Europe, Middle East, Africa, Asia, North, and South America. The company that we had chosen, which is Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd, is belonging to Bericap and its headquarters is in Kulai. It is a company that works in all other plastic product manufacturing sector and founded on the 10 December 2014 until now. Yes. Proceed to the organizational chart of Bericap. Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd, led by the general manager, which is Eddie Kwah. Bericap Malaysia also had 5 important departments that make the process of the production run smoothly. The first department is the sales department, led by the Ryan Chi as the sales director. Second department is R&D department, where Leong Hong Kit is the leader. Bericap Malaysia also has production and supply department, led by Kim Liang as head of manager. For the financial management department, Alik Teo is the financial manager and responsible for the budget planning, support executive management team. Lastly, one of the important departments for the workers management is the human resource department, led by Amy Wong. It is for support the growth and development of workers through career planning. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Okay, hi everyone. Next one, we are going to present the subsystem that we have been analyzed regarding Bericap Sdn Bhd throughout the business process. Okay, the first one is sales process. Next slide. Okay, this is the continuance of sales process. And the second one is purchasing process. And the last one is the payroll process. Okay, that's all for the analyze of subsystem Bericap Sdn Bhd. Next, I'm going to pass to the next presenter.
Okay, this is system documentation technique that we use, which is system flowchart and data flow diagram. For system flowchart, we have sales, purchasing, and payroll. And for data flow diagram, we have sales, purchasing, and payroll. So next. So this one is system flowchart for sales. Next. And this one also for sales. This one data flow diagram for sale. Next. This one system flow chart for purchase. This one data flow diagram for purchase. And this one system flow chart for payroll. And the last one is data flow diagram for payroll. So I will pass the presentation to the next presenter.
Okay, so we'll proceed the presentation with the current issues in sales subsystem of Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd. So for the first issue is the sell items to uncredit-worthy customers. In the sales department, the sales clerk will be performing the credit checking after the customer has placed their order. thus the creditworthiness of the customer is not reliable. It is because the credit checking is made by the sales department and there's no segregation of duties there. And the issue will result in excessive bad debt, losses to the business, and affect the receipt of sales and revenue of Bericap. If the issue has not been resolved earlier, it will have a huge impact on the business operations. And the worst case scenario is the business may not be able to continue its operation due to the no profits gains. Okay, the second point is that the risk of inaccurately recording transactions in journals and accounts. This issue can be seen in the billing department when the billing clerk determines the price of the items without reconciling the sales order with the shipping notice. This may lead to the inaccuracy and incorrect amount recorded. Moreover, the billing clerk should have waited until the items had been shipped to the customer before recording the sales in the sales journal. And I will pass the presentation to the next presenter.
Okay, next one we'll proceed with current issue in purchasing subsystem. The first current issue is employer fraudulent. When it comes to periodically buying operation like evaluating and authorizing the firm's expenditure, complication might develop, particularly when it comes to controlling numerous department and finance. Fraudulent acts that are attempted by the employees are a common issue faced by Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd due to the lack of strict authorization control in the purchasing department. Personnel can frequently approve an invoice beyond what was allowed and maybe go wayward and spend without authorization. Therefore, companies should restrict any spending that hasn't been accepted or rejected with the purchase requisition. Okay, next one. Next slide, Batis. Okay, thank you. The second one is poor administrative process. Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd had also faced a problem regarding the issue of the poor administrative process that had led to the downturn of earnings and control. This was caused by uncontrolled spending that the employees made out of the company's budget control. The invoices that were authorized by the purchasing department were not properly reviewed and paid, as it will lead to an error and insufficient finance towards the company budgeting policy. The overspending had also increased the quantities of inventory above what the firm needed, and it would be left obsolete when it was kept for too long. The obsolete inventory will be disposed right after, and it will become a waste to the company. Okay, next I'll pass the presentation to Imran.
Okay, proceed to the current issue in payroll subsystem. The first issue that typical faced by Bericap is incorrect data processing. It arises when the payroll department clerk make a mistake while preparing hard copy paychecks. Fixing this problem can sometimes need a significant amount of effort and time. Basically, miscalculation in pay can occur for both paid and hourly personnel. Overpaying or underpaying employees, making incorrect retroactive payment, missing the first paycheck for the new hire, deducting the incorrect amount for the benefits or other payroll deduction, and improperly paying employees on disability or other leave are example of common miscalculation. Next slide. Another issue faced by the company in the payroll subsystem is the risk of not tracking employee hours and overtime. This issue is determined by the supervisor or employer that overlook the electronic tracking system that monitor overtime hours automatically. Hence, this might result in incorrect overtime payment, requiring repairs that may span numerous that year. Correcting mistake takes time, and it can be stressful for employees, especially if they are underpaid or overpaid, and they must repay money to the firm. So I will pass to the next presenter.
It is, so I will proceed with the recommendations for the issues that occur in sales. So there are two recommendations. The first recommendation is to exercise the rigorous control procedure by the credit department instead of sales department. This is because sales department might not have more knowledge on how to do the credit check. And then the credit check should be done by the credit department, as they will examine the creditworthiness of the customer thoroughly and carefully before the credit approval was given, which include the thorough credit checks, trade or bank references, and the setting of appropriate credit limits for customers. And this also able to reduce the uncreditworthy customers and will gain more profits. And the second one is issues that arise is that the billing department should establish the sales order pending files, which the issue regarding sales is about the inaccurately recording transactions, journals, and account. Thus, we can place the transactions in sales order pending files until receipt of shipping notice, which items ships are reconciled with this order, unit prices, taxes, and freight charges are added to invoice copy of sales order. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
So I'm going to proceed with the recommendation for issues in purchasing department. Firstly, transaction authorization is one of the physical control that can be done by Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd, in which to ensure that only authorized transaction and spending align with the company's budget are performed. Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd also need to ensure that the requisitioning and receiving function should be segregated from the person who approve it. For instance, the inventory manager approve replenishment through a purchase requisition to trigger the purchasing function when the stock level fall below the specified reorder points. This is to avoid theft of goods or possibly payment for unauthorized purchases. Secondly, next slide. Secondly, Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd could also perform IT control, which is automated purchase approval to minimize fraudulent purchases made from unauthorized vendor, since it requires a low amount of labor and it also requires adequate procedure in recognizing supplier and adding them to the approved vendor list. For example, the accessibility to the valid vendor file must be properly restricted by password or encryption to prevent any unauthorized vendor from being added to the file. This is to ensure that only necessary goods are purchased by Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd. Next, as for the inventory department, the clerk should access the purchase requisition file and print the purchase requisition with one copy forwarded to the purchasing department and one copy stored in the hard copy open purchase requisition file. Next, instead of simply recording the supplier's invoice in the account payable department, the account payable clerk should also practice three-way matching in the account payable department, whereby reconcile the supplier invoice with the purchase order and receiving report, and then create an AP packet, which is a folder that comprises the reconciled supporting documents. This is to check the accuracy regarding prior payment, quantity purchased, and the amount charged. Hence, this process is necessary because it can prevent Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd from overpaying the same bill for more than once. So that's all for the recommendation for issues in purchasing department. I will pass the presentation to the next presenter.
So I will proceed with a recommendation for issue in payroll. Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd could implement the independent verification control, which is physical control in the payroll system. For instance, the supervisor must verify their accuracy of time and attendance, as well as sign them before submitting a time card to payroll. Okay, besides, Bericap Malaysia Sdn Bhd could be able to implement IT control, which is an advanced technology system, into a payroll system, such as segregations of routine between timekeeping, personnel, account payable, cash management, and the general ledger function. Computer application perform physical control tasks in advanced technology system, and eliminating the human element reduce the risk of error and improve the efficiency of process signification. That's all from me. I will pass the presentation to the next presenter.
Okay, thank you, Haja. So after the recommendations were met, there are amendments for our system documentation techniques, both for new system flowchart and data flow diagram. So let's go through the new system flowchart first, which is for sales, purchasing, and payroll. Next. So this is the new system flowchart sales, and then we will go through the continuous of the new sales flowchart, and then this is the new flowchart for purchases. Next, this is the new payroll flowchart system. Next, okay, for new data flow diagram for sales, purchasing, and payroll. Okay, next. Okay, this is for new DFD for sales. Next, this is new DFD for purchase. And then the last one is new DFD for payroll. That's all from us. Thank you.